It's finally official. This morning, Nintendo just shadow dropped a trailer for the Switch 2 at the delightful time of 5 a.m., which I'm so glad I woke up for just in case. If you've been paying attention at all to the flurry of rumors and leaks that have been going on the last couple months, looks like a lot of them are right, especially when it comes to the physical design of the system. It is effectively a bigger Switch, but there's a lot of stuff that this trailer hard confirms that I want to go over real quick, as well as some teasers it sets up for things we're going to learn about in the near future. First off, the biggest thing this trailer really highlights is just the general physical design of the system. Some big changes worth noting that, we've seen a little bit before, but now we know our fact is that there is an additional USB-C port on the top of the system. There is a redesigned kickstand that is similar to the Switch OLEDs in that it is the full bottom part of the system, but now it's just a thinner profile U-shape rather than being the whole bottom flap, which is still way better than the little tiny kickstand the original Switch came with. The system in general looks to be a little bit bigger, which hopefully makes the Joy-Con a bit more comfortable and just in general making portable mode better for some folks with larger hands. The Joy-Cons also now feature a slightly more upraised bit where the shoulder buttons are if you're using them by themselves. And as we've heard about before for a long time now, they are in fact magnetic. You can see it magnetically attached to the system itself as well as to a controller bridge. One thing that feels like a tease is that there were rumors that Joy-Cons were now going to have a functionality where you could use them like a mouse, holding it against a hard surface, and there is a part of the trailer where we see the Joy-Cons running around like that. We also get a very brief look at the dock, which is a dock. One interesting detail to pay attention to is that there is an additional button on the right Joy-Con that in the leaked materials had a C on it, whereas in this trailer, it is left completely blank. I don't think the blank is a final design thing. I think that's Nintendo just not wanting to show the symbol for that button yet. I think that once we learn more information about the system, that's going to actually show what the symbol of the button is, probably that C, and explain what exactly it does. Now again, this is a very teasery short trailer that was just showing the physical design of the system. They show the basic concept of how it still docks like a regular Switch, you can connect it to a TV, all that is still intact. There are some little interesting other things we've learned though. For instance, they do show a brief bit of what looks like it might be Mario Kart 9, which an interesting detail there is that in the starting race lineup, you can see there are markers for 24 cars, which, it could just be an aesthetic thing for that particular stage, but if there is a 24 racer mode, that's the kind of madness that I am absolutely ready for. Now that's it for the kind of teasery visual aspects of the system. Some other important things that Nintendo locked in is that they are going to be having a Switch 2 Focus Direct in April. It's going to be on April 2nd, and that's where I think we're going to see some real details about this thing, because for now, all we know is, well, the physical design of the system and the name. We'll probably see the actual release date, price lock-in, a couple system software reveals, and while I don't necessarily see Nintendo going in depth on the actual hard specs of the system, we'll probably learn a little bit about how the hardware is updated and changed compared to the original Switch, and personally, I'm hoping to see some kind of software level gimmick also introduced just to help differentiate it a bit more from the system. I understand the logic behind Nintendo making a very safe, direct upgrade with this console, but one of my favorite things about Nintendo is how they mess with people's preconceptions and how we get some very interesting new ways of play, which hardware-wise doesn't look like the system is going to do, at least based on the little bit we've seen, but there are plenty of things they could still do from a software integration level in the system that could change things up considerably. One feature that did get confirmed at the very end of the trailer is that they did say the system is going to be backwards compatible. I have seen a few people point out and latch on a little bit to a bit of disclaimer text with that, where they basically say, hey, it's not 100%, there are going to be some games that might not work or might not work quite the right way. This to me reads as pretty standard boilerplate of just in case of edge cases. I'm sure there are already some specific things that Nintendo's aware of and will share down the line as far as any particular games that might be an issue, but I wouldn't go in expecting it to be like suddenly half the library doesn't work on the Switch 2. I think it's going to be some very specific games that leveraged a certain tech aspect of the original Switch, just something that might be different in the new Switch that makes it not quite work the exact same way. That's just a thing that happens sometimes with hardware shifts. Hopefully it's no one's particularly favorite game from the Switch coming over, but if it is, hopefully Nintendo will actually give us a list of which games have compatibility issues, and that way you know if you might need to hold on to your regular Switch or not. That said though, honestly, I really don't expect it to be a particularly long list. This does feel like something that's just a sort of safe wording to announce right away as a disclaimer because, yeah, there are going to be those edge cases that exist. Outside of this trailer itself, there was one other bit of info that came out from Nintendo. It looks as if they are going to be hosting some hands-on demos for this next system. This is going to be an application-based demo, so it's not public. You can't just attend it. You have to apply using your Nintendo account. And within the US, it looks like there's going to be 3 different locations in Los Angeles, New York, and Dallas, with registration opening up on the 17th. And that's basically it as far as just hard confirmation of what this trailer shows. There is a whole lot left to learn, which we at least know now when to look forward to learning that on April 2nd. I gotta say, more than anything, I am just so happy that this reveal is now out and in the open. The leak and rumor cycle for this particular system has been such a headache to watch and keep up with because so much stuff has come out. And honestly, I like to be surprised. I like having these things be big reveals. And while I pay attention to these things because I'm making videos, it just breaks my heart a little bit that so much of it came out in advance instead of being a nice big surprise, which hopefully, maybe that April 2nd Direct is going to have more to show off. There have been some other rumored things of what the system can be capable of. Again, I really think that Nintendo is going to have some kind of additional aspect to the system outside of just the very clear Direct hardware upgrade, and I'm very curious to see what they're going to actually show at this Direct. I will say, if you have been watching my content for a while, and you've watched my previous videos talking about the upcoming Switch, I'm a little bummed that it's called the Switch 2. I get it, I always understood that was a possibility, and I get the choice. It just doesn't feel very Nintendo to me. I really feel like there were some more titles they could have gone with that would not have run into the same issues that the Wii U had. And look, at the end of the day, the Wii U failed for a lot of reasons outside of just the name. But whatever, it is what it is. It's called the Switch 2. It's fine. And so that's really it for this video. I just want to do a quick reaction to, this teaser dropping this morning. My brain's already running with some additional video ideas where I'm going to go a little bit more in depth. Yeah, sure, it's speculation based, but now we actually have official materials to point back to. So if you don't want to miss those videos, as well as all the coverage I'm going to do once we actually get those full details in April and then full release whenever that is, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button to let me know. And until next time, I will see you all later.